How's it going, guys? I'm here to review From Dusk Till Dawn 2, Texas Blood Money, 1999.
From Quentin Tarantino, from Robert Rodriguez, comes the long-awaited sequel to the movie the Chicago Tribune called Explosive.
This movie stars Robert Patrick, Maria Chica, Bo Hopkins, Danny Trejo, Bruce Campbell. They're all in this movie. And of course, you have other characters and other actors as well. And this is the first time that the sequel actually is not directed by Robert Rodriguez. It's directed by Scott Spiegel, and this is a straight to DVD sequel that came out 4 years after the original one. So this movie and From Dusk Till Dawn 3, they both came out in 1999 in the same time because, like I said, they were straight to DVD. So pretty much a band of misfits, band of crooks. They go to Mexico so that way they can make a heist. They get some blood money. But one of them stops at the Titty Twister bar, which I guess is perfectly fine because if you guys seen the last movie, the Titty Twister was literally destroyed and all the vampires were literally dead because they're exploded by the sunlight. So how is the Titty Twister rebuilt? Maybe there was more vampires. I don't know. And I guess Danny Trejo, his character is Razor Charlie. He's the bartender of the original From Dusk Till Dawn. He's still alive, even though he literally died in the last movie. But whatever. I mean, it's cool to see Danny Trejo back, but didn't his character die? It doesn't make sense, but pretty much he gets a ride from one of the dudes, or not. He gets help from one of the dudes because I guess the dude run over a vampire, which Danny Trejo didn't know at time, and when Danny Trejo figures it out, him and his run over friend, the vampire, just starts biting the crap out of one of the crooks, and then the crook comes back to regroups with his other group to do the money heist, and that's where things go wrong. That's when he develops a bloodthirst and he starts churning his teammates, his co-crooks one by one, and it's up to Robert Patrick, which is like I guess the leader of the group, to like team up with the cops because they're like on the run from the cops too and the sheriff. So he has no choice to team up with them to go against his vampire teammates and try to survive the night. And this movie doesn't even take place in a Titty Twister. Yes, like I said, the bar is there, but it's just there. And then most of this movie takes place like at a bank in the middle of nowhere, like in Mexico. So
Listen up, man. That Mexican bank deal's back on. We gotta move double fast.
The plan was simple.
I don't know. There's like some things I probably forgot about this movie because it's been a fat minute since I saw it, but I've seen the trailers, I've seen some of the movie clips. Like, I just remember how bad this movie is, but that's pretty much what I just told you. That's the plot of this movie. And you guys already know that I don't like this movie. This movie sucks. This sequel is such a downgrade compared to the original. There's some cool moments, like Robert Patrick, he was not bad in this movie, and it was cool to see Danny Trejo to play Razor Charlie. And then some of the special effects were okay, and then most of it were just bad, especially for the vampire effects. I mean, it was cool to see bats, but even the bats looked kind of cheap too. So some of the special effects was hella cheap. And it was cool to see Bruce Campbell as Ash. No, I'm just kidding, but Bruce Campbell's still in this movie. He plays a different character, but what pisses me off is spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this movie, click off now. But he dies in the first 5 minutes of the movie, Bruce Campbell, which really sucks ass. But yes, there's a Playboy model in this movie, which is really awesome. Her name is Maria Chica. I could pronounce the name wrong, forgive me. But yes, the 90s Playboy model, or late 90s, I should say, is in this movie. And pretty much all the stuff that I just said were like the only good things. Everything else sucked ass.
Pack a bag, bring your 45, and be ready to roll at high noon.
But when five criminals headed south for the big score,
We're about to be millionaires.
somebody
Some of the other characters were just bland, no offense, and then some of the acting was a bit rough. The transition from the epic original movie to this movie is just such a downgrade. It doesn't make any sense. The budget's more lower, obviously, because it's straight to DVD. And this movie doesn't even take place in a titty twister bar. It takes place in the middle of like nowhere in Mexico and at a bank. And it's just, everything just sucks. Like, it doesn't even feel like a From Dusk Till Dawn movie if you think about it. If you remove Danny Trejo and the titty twister bar, this could have been just like another like typical vampire movie that's totally different. It doesn't even feel like From Dusk Till Dawn, honestly. So yeah, I just wasn't digging it. When I first watched this when I was young, like a few years back, I was expecting more from this movie, but I didn't know this movie was going to be slow, dull, boring, like the first like maybe 40 minutes to an hour. Like, I don't know, it was building up so slow, and then when the horror does kick in, it's just, it doesn't have a good punch. It just sucks, man. This movie sucks. I mean, yes, the original one, it was slow too, but at least the characters were interesting. The story itself was interesting from the start, and when the horror kicks in, it was like a twist. Because that's why I love the original one. But in this movie, it was just the complete opposite. Like, everything was just everything. The story, the horror itself was just completely uninteresting. It was just, it just sucked. Yeah, so this movie, pretty bad. Did not like it. I don't know what else to say about this movie. There's really nothing to say in this movie. Like, other than that, it sucks. So I would rate this movie a 5 out of 10. I wasn't really feeling it. I mean, there were some, like I said, some cool moments, some cool vampire moments, some cool horrific scenes. Like maybe like 2 or 3 scenes. But other than that, the rest of the movie just sucked. And the ending was just kind of cheesy, over the top, whack, and yeah, this movie wasn't good. So that was my quick review of From Dusk Till Dawn 2, Texas Blood Money, 1999. Please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Vampires, Ray Bob.
Get out of there! Robert Patrick, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, Bo Hopkins.
What in God's name is going on up there?
In a story about the folks that pop up when the sun goes down.
I just dropped in for a quick bite.